All right, I'm gonna play a quick little game here called TripLock by Chip Theory Games. This is the first time that I have ever played this game, and actually it's the first time I've ever played any Chip Theory game. I am awaiting the arrival of Too Many Bones products and Cloudspire products that I got during the Cloudspire Kickstarter that happened recently, and I actually can't wait till it shows up, especially after looking and seeing the components of this game. I spent most of the time during Gen Con Online watching the stuff from the Chip Theory streams that they were doing, and they were having this deal on dice trays where if you ordered something you could get a dice tray with your order. So I figured, you know what, I'll get TripLock. I was gonna get Hoplomachus when it came back in stock, but when it came back in stock they announced that they were working on new Hoplomachus stuff, so I'm kind of waiting on that. I've watched Ricky Royal's channel for a long time, for years, and I know it's a game that he speaks highly of. And I got to tell you, the components to this game do not disappoint. I mean, the cards feel great, the chips feel great, and from everything that I've heard, I can expect the same high quality from the stuff that I'll be getting in, hopefully, when does it ship? November timeframe, I think it is when the Cloudspire Kickstarter stuff is supposed to ship. And I ordered way too much. I'm going to have Too Many Bones stuff to play for probably 2 years. I got a little crazy with buying the Too Many Bones stuff in that Kickstarter. So I think I understand the rules pretty well for this game. I haven't played it yet. I did watch one of the Chip Theory videos that was a playthrough. There was one thing that confused me, but I think I saw a thread from someone else that when the chips rotate, I think he was rotating them to the right, but I think they're supposed to go to the left. So I'm going to play the way that the rules say and rotate to the left. And this is kind of a memory game, and there's some dice rolling that'll give you some actions to manipulate the chips. So this could be fairly quick, so I might actually play 2 rooms during this video. I'm going to see how long it goes before I decide if I'm going to do the second room or not in this particular playthrough. Let me read the flavor text. I haven't even read this. I have picked my character. You can bring all 6 of the characters on the little solo campaign, but you only get to use 1 per room, and if you fail at a room, then you're supposed to kick that character out and use another character. And I think if you run out of characters before you make it through the 4 rooms, then you lose the campaign. I think that's how it goes. So this particular one that comes in the box is called The Station. It says, everyone looked around uneasily. No one present had reason to expect that he or she would be the only one here, but something about the other 5 who'd showed up filled the air with tension. It also didn't help that this part of the station was well lit. They could hear the Royal Company night watchmen laughing and chatting no more than a block away. 6 people gathered awkwardly near the train station at 2 a.m. would draw attention, maybe even gunfire, and soon. Nobody said a word as they sized each other up until a voice behind them broke the silence. Welcome, a masked woman said in an even, measured tone. I see none of you had issues opening your lockboxes. The key inside is unique to you and you alone. Keep it close. Without another word, she brushed past them and up to the door. Even from where they stood, it was obvious the lock protecting this entrance was not normal. In fact, the keyhole itself was hidden from view behind a series of fake wall plates and fail-safe triggers. And yet, with a ball pick and short hook in her right hand and a rake in her left, the woman sprung the complex lock in seconds. That kind of speed on that kind of lock was next to impossible. The entire group was dumbfounded, and she knew it. Inside, she instructed. Everyone quickly followed. The masked woman spoke again, even while the group still piled into the small foyer of what looked to be the train conductor's office. Listen up, she said curtly. You're here because you're curious. This place holds many secrets. ones I know you're interested in. You also know your way around the best locks in the city, half of which are built into this place and others like it. We will need all of us working together to overcome such obstacles, she continued. But first, I must know your strengths and weaknesses. Pair up and face off against one another. She handed out intricate boxes covered with gears and levers. There was a pause as the group tried to digest all they had just heard, but the click of a lever on Axe's back and a sheepish grin on his face snapped them to attention. This challenge was on. Okay. There's the masked woman, apparently, on the card. So we're not going to need the story card anymore. We've got room number 1 for the station. She still didn't give her name, yet she knew each of theirs. Her elaborate metal mask was full of intricate patterns, diamond shapes, and studs, and looked as if it were permanently locked on her face. It's time, she said as she opened a panel on the back wall, exposing an intricate grouping of protected mechanisms that all rotated at unique intervals. Which one of you wants to put your skills to a real test, she asked. If you're the lucky one, take your key and insert it here. The station will only allow access to each key once per night. So pass or fail, once you've attempted a lock, we won't have need of your skills again this evening. So I actually had wondered, so now it makes sense, because when I was looking at the character cards, they have these keys down in the corner, and you're supposed to use the key when you need to track your points. You like point the key at however many points you have, kind of like that. And the others are all different. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting touch that they gave them all different keys, but it ties in with the story, I guess. I don't have the points card over here because when I read the challenge for this room, I don't think we're going to need to keep track of points. So the goal for the first room is to solve the following master lock sequence before the room wins. And it's gear, padlock, and code. And I have them up here, gear, padlock, and code. I'm going to shuffle all that stuff, but this is what we need it to look like, and we need it to be in these 3 over here, because these are the visible lock areas, and this one is called the hidden lock area. So the rules for this room, we set it up as a solo game. The room is going to go first. So on the room's turn, we rotate all the mechanism stacks, and then we remove a failsafe from the hidden mechanism over here. If it does not have a failsafe on top, we flip it over and we take the failsafe off. And when we flip it, if ever a chip comes in here, it doesn't have a failsafe on top, and if we flip it, it doesn't have a failsafe on the bottom, that's when we lose, or the room wins, it says. All right, so these are the failsafes. I'm going to try to do this matching with failsafes without looking, and then we're going to have to shuffle these. Right? Are these fail safes the right way? Yes. I have no idea where these things are going. I actually could randomize this a little bit even more. Maybe let the dice say, so 1 through 4, we'll see where this one goes in 2. This one, whatever it is going to go in 3, and we'll just do this and this. And then I'm going to get a diagram card. These aren't going to matter too much because these are for points, but some of these can actually give you bonus actions if you complete them. And I'm going to start the game with 1. And then you have to pick the orientation that you want it to be at in order to see which, yeah, so this card's not going to do a whole lot for me. Did I say for me? Not going to do a whole lot for me. So I would pick the orientation on which side I was going to do. So if I was going to do the top side, I would just need to have the lock symbol to the left of the push symbol. And if I solved it, it could be a point, but it could also allow me to discard any unsolved diagram. And none of the other sides on this card have something like that. So I'm just going to put it like this with the lock side up when I was looking through these earlier, I did see some that were like, oh, get another action, or flip a stack if you want to, if you solve the diagram. So it might be a little helpful here, but we don't really need points for this mission. And we don't need to track the rounds either. There's also a round marker that's similar to the points marker. And then I'll talk about the skill bead a little later. So the room goes first. So on the room's turn, we rotate everything. So we'll take this one down and rotate everything to the left. And then we remove the failsafe once it gets into the hidden mechanism out of the game. Okay, so that is the push. We don't really need this chip. So we look at this card, it tells us what's on both sides of the chip. So we've got the push here, the arrow's like going towards the lever. On the opposite side of this is the pull. And then down this card you can see the code and the key are opposite, the levers and the padlock are opposite, the spring and the gear are opposite. And then the fail safes have either like little explosion symbols on them or gear locks on them. And I can put this up close. We need the, and I already showed you earlier, but we need the gear, the padlock, and the code. And going from left to right in these three positions to beat this room. So let's roll the dice for our turn. So I got this one that says that I can swap things. And I got another one that says that I could peek at, what is it called? It says peek at a mechanism, and it's, no, that's not the right one. Reveal, conceal, or alter any diagram. That one I think might be a little more useful in a two-player game, because you could peek at your opponents, because this is a one or two-player game. And it looks kind of interesting, two-player too. I watched a video, I can't remember what channel it was on, but I watched another video that was a good two-player playthrough, and it looks pretty quick too. But that would allow me to peek, to reveal one of theirs, or I could conceal one of mine and hide mine, or alter it. So if I really no longer liked the side that I was on, it's like if I no longer liked this side, I could rotate it to a different side. So since I don't know where anything is right now, this swap's not going to do a whole lot for me, and this one doesn't seem like it's doing a whole lot for me. So you're also allowed to combine two to do any other action. So I think I'm going to combine those two to do the, let's look at the action card here. The top one, oops, let me go back here. The top one is peek at any two mechanisms and their fail safes. So I want to take a peek at where some things are. I don't want to remove a whole bunch of fail safes, I don't think, because if I remove a bunch as well, the room's going to be removing them, and then if they're gone, that will make the game go quicker. So I think I'll just do that one action of peeking at two mechanisms. So let's peek at this one. So we've got padlock. So I know padlock is here. I know I don't need to flip this one, but I need it to end up here eventually. The room is going to flip it though when it moves over here next. So okay, so we know we got padlock there, and I could also peek at the failsafe. It's an explosive. And code. I don't think I did a good job of randomizing which side they were on when I was showing you guys. Oh, well, the room's going to be doing a bunch of flipping. So code is there. So we've got padlock and code. That's the right order for our diagram for now, except that we need to end up with gear, padlock, code. Okay, so the other thing is we have this skill bead. There's a couple different things you can do with the skill bead. For my particular character's power, I could put the skill bead on my character, and that would allow me to re-roll one of the die that I rolled. You could use your skill bead to advance along the track over here to get points. Points are not a thing in the solo game for this particular scenario. Or you can advance your bead along this track for actions, for an extra action. So I'm going to put my skill bead here on this turn, and then next turn I will advance it and get another action. So I think that's my turn. So now the room gets to go, and it will rotate and then remove the failsafe. No, it's actually, yeah, it doesn't flip it unless there's no failsafe showing. Yeah, I don't think I did a good job of flipping which side the chips were on at the beginning. So this might be a little easier than maybe normal. Okay, so back to my turn. All right, so I got a swap, and the swap, I can only swap stuff in the visible area. Is there anything I want to swap? I think there actually is, but it might make the game go a little quicker. Oh, well, it might let us get into the next room faster because of my very poor shuffling. I can remove a failsafe is what this die is saying, right? So it's disarm any failsafe, which is basically, that's when I get it, I think. Disarm. Disarm a failsafe from the top. To disarm a failsafe, remove and place it face down in my disarmed failsafe stack. Yeah, so just to be sure that we know what's where, I'm going to disarm this one. Yes, we've got gear because I'm terrible at shuffling. And then with this particular action die here, it's disarm a failsafe and draw a new diagram. So let's draw a new diagram. See what we get. Yeah, see, so the top one here is, again, swap any 2 stacks and or flip any 2 stacks if you solve it. So we'll take that one at that orientation. I don't think we need to do any swapping because I'm about to do a swap with this swap die that I think is going to get us yeah. So what I want to do here using the swap is swap these two. Yep. So I've used both of my die. Now I'm going to do my skill bead and move it here. And when it gets to this +1 area, I get to do another roll. So that's the peaking at 2. I don't really need to do that, so I'm just going to skip that action. All right, go back to the board for the room's turn. This failsafe is going to come off. I shouldn't have peeked at it, but I mean, it's out of the game anyway. So all I need to do now is just wait. Right? Okay, so I rolled a... So I can show you what these would do. This one is a flip. So just for fun's sake, we'll flip this one using that action die. And then we'll put our skill bead on Dante to re-roll the other die. And so this one allows you to do stuff to the die that's in the hidden area. Usually you can only do stuff, or the die, to the chips that are in the hidden area. You usually can only do stuff to the chips that are in the visible area. You could peek at the mechanism and its fail-safe in this hidden lock area. Then you would flip it and then rotate. So I don't want to flip it because I want code up. Okay, so that's gonna be the end of my turn. Room turn. That goes there. There's a fail-safe on top, so it comes off. So if this one came back around, I would lose because it no longer has any fail-safes. None on top, none on the bottom. These all still have a fail-safe. So if I look at the requirements here, we need gear, padlock, and code. And we have gear, padlock, and code right there. So I would just declare that I was gonna solve this combo lock from left to right and say gear, lock, code. So that room is beat. All right, so it's because I did a poor job of shuffling that, I'm actually going to go on to room 2, so we have 2 rooms in this video. So I have to pick a different character. Elizabeth Watkins says you may place your skill bead on one of your diagrams. When completing that diagram, the spring mechanism can be used as if it were a gear and vice versa. And those are both on the same chip. The gear and the spring are on the same chip. So you can use that one to solve diagrams in either orientation. Shuffle these up. To get our 1 to start the game with. Okay, so let's do a better job this time with the chips. Let's turn them over. Just grabbing some and turning and grabbing some and turning and turning. And put them... Oops, saw that one. Ah. And let's do a little bit of the same randomization. This one here, going to number 3, 6, 4, 1, and 2. And let's do another flip of those 2. Okay, so room 2. Room 2 says in 8 rounds or fewer. Okay, so we know we're gonna need the rounds marker, and I'm gonna do, I have another little bead, so I'm gonna do a bead on it there. That one is not the easiest to see. If I use the bead that came in the game. Now I'll do it. I mean, you can tell that the one's covered up, right? Kinda. All right, earn 5 points, then solve this master lock sequence or the room wins. Okay, so the master lock sequence here is spring, push, and levers. That's what it's called. So spring, push, and levers. And we're gonna need to count points this time. That's my skill bead. So we have to get to 5 points and then solve the spring, push, levers. Let's take our diagram. All right, let's read the room rules. To a solo setup, the room goes second. All disarmed fail safes must be placed on this card rather than gaining them yourself. On the room's turn, all 4 mechanism stacks rotate. Anytime a mechanism's fail-safe is removed, flip the mechanism's stack. if this new mechanism does not have a failsafe, add one from this card. So when I flip it over, if it's visible, then I cover it back up. So failsafe diagrams are also not going to be useful because I don't get to keep the failsafes. So let's see what diagram we got. We got a 5-point diagram here, which is push, gear, and key. We got a 2-point one, that's push and gear. We do need push, and both of those have push. This one is collecting fail-safes, but I don't get to keep fail-safes, so that's not good. And then we have a push diagram that I could swap any 2 stacks or flip any 1 stack, but that's not worth any points. I think I'm going to go for the one that gets me a couple of points, and I might go up the point track with my skill bead to try to get some points. So we need push and gear, and push needs to be to the left side of gear. I mean, it could be here and gear is here, or this could be push and either one of these two could be gear. I don't think in the hidden mechanism it counts for solving diagrams. Once you think the mechanism symbol is showing the visible lock area. Yeah, so they need to be in the visible lock area. And the room goes second. Oops. So, okay, I got peak. This is actually pretty good. So I'm going to do the one that affects the one on the gold die here is the one that affects the hidden lock area. So I just get to peek at what's here. Okay, so we've got pull. So we know that one needs to be flipped over, which is good because we're about to flip it over with this action. Because this one is peek at the failsafe and the mechanism, and then flip the stack. Okay, so now we know that it is push because we flipped it, and then you rotate. I should have peeked at 2 in the visible area first, but it's too late for that because now this is in the visible area and an unknown is in the hidden. So our other die was this one, the peek at 2. So let's just peek at the 2 that we don't know. So we've got padlock. On the other side of padlock is levers, and we need levers for our master lock, but not for the diagram. We need to get points first. Okay, so what's this one? So this one is spring and gear. So we need these 2 to swap for us to solve our diagram because we need push to be on the other side of gear. And gear needs to flip, right? Because that was spring. But our power is that spring and gear can be to solve diagrams. It doesn't matter what side they're on. So that's okay. Yeah, that's all right. So then for our skill action, I'm going to put the bead on the points area. And now the room gets to go. Room goes second. On the room's turn, all 4 mechanisms stacks rotate. So that's all it says. It doesn't say to remove any fail safes or anything. So I guess it's if I remove fail safes. So we've got push. No, we've got spring and lever. See, this is the whole thing about this game. And talking is going to make me forget probably super quick what's where. So we've got push, spring and lever, or spring and gear, And then this is levers, I think. No, this is the unknown. Oh boy, I don't remember now. Well, it's our turn. Let's go to round 2. Maybe I'll get something that'll help me look before I try to do something and guess wrong. Okay, so we have flip. We did not get swap. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to combine these two, to do a swap action and swap these two. And then declare that I'm trying to solve this diagram. So when you're trying to solve a diagram, I think what you do is you have to declare what is where. So I'm going to say that push is here. Then you look at it. It's upside down, but it is push. The arrow's pointing at the bar. So yes, so push is there, so that's correct, and put the failsafe back on top. And then this is going to be the spring and gear chip, but with my power, it doesn't really matter which side it is on. Yeah, it's on spring, but gear's on the other side. So that solves my diagram because I have push to the left of gear. So that's 2 points. And there's also a draw new diagram kind of reward on that card. So let's go up 2 points. Toss that one away. I combined both of my dice. So for my skill bead, for my skill action, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to draw a new diagram for my reward from that diagram. Next time I'm going to get 2 points, so I just need a 1 point thing here. So we need levers to the left of pull. I don't really want to put the chip onto the pull side. Oh, here, this is good. We just need to declare where levers are and get a point. And I have no clue where levers are. The only thing that I'm sure of is we have push and, at the moment, spring. And I do need spring to be up for our master lock. It's up, face up. I believe that's everything for my turn. Now we go to the room's turn, and the room is just going to rotate everything. Okay, so we have push and spring, and I have no recollection at all of what's over there. Okay, so now for my turn, we go to round 3. And I got 2 flips, which I don't need. So I think I will switch that to be the peek at 2 mechanisms action. So I'm going to combine both of those into one action to peek at what's here. I'm also going to do my skill bead, just get it out of the way, go there, and that gives me 2 more points. So I'm at 4 points. Okay, so we'll peek here. Key. The opposite side of key is code, and we don't need that one. So this is the one we don't need. All right, so let's try to remember. We've got push, spring, key. Push, spring, key, and we peek at this one because we get to peek at 2. And that's padlock. So we need that one to flip over to the levers side. Push, spring, key, lock. Push, spring, key, lock. Yes, and we need it to flip before we can solve our diagram. So we need to flip this one next time. But it is the room's turn, because I've done my skill bead. I combined both of my dice. So push, spring, key, lock. Push, spring, key, lock. Let's roll our dice and move it to round 4. Okay, so we have a flip and a peek. So push, spring, key, lock. We need it to flip, lock. So let's flip lock using our flip result. And now I want to declare that I'm solving this diagram. It's just levers. So I'm going to say that the levers are here. And we peek, yes, levers are there. So I successfully solved the diagram. And that gets me my 5th point. Push, spring, key, and now levers. So now we just need to make sure we get the stuff in the right order, because we need spring, push, levers. And right now we have push, spring, levers. So we need push and levers to swap positions, and then when they rotate around, we should be good. Because my power does not work when I'm solving the master lock. This power only worked when I was solving diagrams. All right, so I do have the other die, and I have my skill bead. So I'm going to put my skill bead on the action space, so then next turn I can get another action as well. Yes, I think that's good. Let's roll. Push, spring, key, levers, right? I think. So I did not get... the room didn't take its turn. I don't know why I was rolling. I'm going to keep this roll for my next turn, but I didn't do the room's turn. I need to go back over here. So for the room's turn, the stuff is going to rotate. So now, if memory serves, and it hardly ever does, we've got push, spring, key, levers. I think push, spring, key, levers is I think what we've got. Okay, so then I also have to move to round 5, and now we can use the dice that I rolled for my turn. So I did not get a swap action, so I'm going to combine both of these dice to swap what I think is the spring and the push in order to get us into this spring, push, levers orientation, because I believe we have spring, push, and levers. I believe. Yes. Is that what I want to do? Yeah, okay. I'm not going to, it's too much to think about to take things back. But my skill bead, I can move it up to do another action. It's not do another action, it's roll another action die. So, which technically does get you another action, but this one you can't combine with anything. And what I would really love to see here, oh no. I was gonna say it would be nice to get the one that allows me to rotate, but then I'd have to flip something. So yeah, that's actually the one that I got, where you would peek and flip, but I don't want to flip it. So not really gonna, I'm not gonna use it. So we go to the room's turn. Let's go back to the board for the room's turn. We rotate everything. Now I'm going to declare that I'm trying to solve the combo lock, and it has to go from left to right, spring, push, and levers. So this needs to be spring, push, and levers. So spring, yes. Push, yes. And levers, no! Oh no! I screwed it up. Actually, and this would be round 6. So I don't know what happens. I think I lose. Or is my turn over? Solo game. Each player has a points card. Solo average character can be used once. As you progress through the episode, you will select which character. Just as if you fail a room. So what does it say on the room rules? Maybe I get to try again. This is going to be hard though with the so spring, push, key, and levers. I know when you fail on a diagram, your turn is just over. Let's see. Drawing diagrams, if you complete it. Completing a diagram. Where does it say what happens when you fail one? It says completing a diagram does not end your turn if you are successful. You know what, after reading or trying to find this rule in here, I don't even remember what's under where. Huh. I could have swore I remember reading somewhere that your turn ends immediately if you don't do it correctly. Oh yeah, here we go. If it does not match, stop immediately, discard the diagram and end your turn. But it's not a diagram. I'm just gonna say it ends my turn. I mean, I'm limited by the number of rounds I have, and I don't think I'll be able to do it now anyway. So the room we get to go, because the stuff that I need is gonna be in the hidden area. Swap and peek. So just peeking, these were the two that were the culprits. And swap. So we'll just swap them to get them in the right order. Put my skill bead here. And then the rune gets to go. Yeah, there's no way I can do it. So I'm going to fail because I can't even with the, that would be round. There's not enough turns for me to get it over here. So that's the whole thing with the game is memory. I thought I knew where they were too. I was pretty confident. But somewhere along the way, I lost track of where the levers were. So if I was going to continue playing the campaign, Elizabeth Watkins would be gone as a character. I would bring in a new character from the 4 that remain and try the room again. And then if I beat the room, you know, then that character's gone. You go to the 3rd room, and then there's a 4th room. So I hope you got a little flavor. I got a little flavor. Like I said, this was the first time that I've ever played TripLock. I did watch a couple of videos. It's a neat little game. I really love the components. I think I said it at the beginning already about the components. Definitely a memory thing. I really want to try this with a second player because I think where this could be really fun is with a second player. And it would be a really quick game because I mean their diagrams, they're going to be trying to get stuff in order, and for them left to right is reversed. It's like for me left to right is this position to this one, and for that side their left to right is this position to that one. They're not exactly going for the same thing as you, but there are also cards that aren't used in the solo game that are traps and countermeasures that can have some interaction with what the other player is doing. And there's another little spot here that you can do something with the skill bead to reset wherever their skill bead is, so you could mess with their plans on what they were trying to do with their skill bead. Okay, yeah, so just another little quick game. I've got my Gloomhaven characters, their varnish is drying. I might go another round of this off of camera before I start setting up another game. So if you like this video, hit the subscribe, hit the like. Got more fun campaign games and more one-off little play like this scheduled for the channel. So hope to see you next time. Thanks for coming.